Today is August 1st, 2026. It is 10:15 a.m. here in the Santa Cruz Mountains of California. And so it's actually about, 70 degrees. It's pretty warm already. So we'll go ahead and do the monthly tour. I've got a few gardens going. We'll do the monthly tour of the chicken, the hen haven, and the chicken coops. So we've got 15 birds total, I believe, and that includes 4 roosters. And they all live together but separately in their enclosures. It's one big enclosure, but they have their own separate area so that they don't fight and kill each other. It's like a schoolyard. So we've got a flock there of 4 with 1 rooster, and a flock in this enclosure. Well, this is their hen house, and then they have their enclosure, and that's Noah's flock. This was all built within a year and 9 months, and everything, the structure, and then also the gardens. So we have the lavender that was in a little pot last year. That's really grown. This whole vine here, I purchased it about 11 months ago. That was in a little pot that I bought. It was the Red Rover passion fruit vine, and it was just in a little pot. Stuck it in when I was grocery shopping, picked it up, put it in my grocery cart, and lo and behold, if you want a fast growing vine, the Red Rover vine, and that has some passion fruit on it that's still forming. And so yeah, so this is the enclosure, and all the greenery, the plants, the fruits and veggies, that nothing was here. So a year and 9 months, all this came to fruition. If we didn't do anything with it, it would have looked like that, just nothing but weeds. And yeah, so we definitely hustled. We had a vision, and we just moved forward. And we did this also in the winter time. In the middle of the night, we would bring lights out here. It was freezing cold, and Jim hammered in every nail, and so that the structures are safe from bobcats, which we just had a bobcat pounce at the whole structure a couple days ago. So we're on bobcat watch and coyote watch also, but they cannot get into these enclosures. So they're all interconnected. They're all connected, safe, secure, with doors, locks, and this grid here. So it looks like it's one big enclosure, but it's not. And we have to keep them separate for their own good. Together and separate. So we've got Noah with his flock here, and so it's significantly cooler as you walk in here. And I had an idea. All these were planted from seed. These are the sunchokes, and there's going to be food underneath that is similar to potatoes. Sunchokes are in the sunflower family. This is peas. So we've got the greens here, and then you're going to get peas there. So if I do nothing but just leave that, it'll die off and bring more seeds, and then more of this growth next year. So that'll be like a continued forest. Red, he's in that enclosure there with his own house, and again separated by that grid. So they can see each other, the roosters, but they can't fight. And so, which is safe for them. So we have a tomato plant here, so eventually the girls will pick their own tomatoes. And that was a small little plant, and now that's full of growth. I don't see any tomato leaves, or I'm sorry, flowers just yet, but the greens is good. They get to pick and eat at that. This is another sunflower, reach the top, or sunchoke. So there's going to be food under there in a few months. Potatoes, sunchokes is what they're called. So you can fry them just like potatoes. That was the apple tree that died well, it didn't die. A mold took it, you know, disturbed the roots and the tree fell. I thought, well, I'll give it a chance. I'll try to plant it in the Garden of Eden. We call this Garden of Eden play yard for the hens. And sure enough, it took. So if I would have just tossed it, we wouldn't have an apple tree. And there is one green apple right there. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So I wanted all this kind of growth so that the chickens had some, had some shade in the heat of in the sun. So this is mint. So they don't like mint, so they just kind of hide under it and get the worms underneath. We've got jasmine going there. That'll eventually take off, and we want a big wall of jasmine simply for the scent. So, marigolds. More sunchokes. These were just little seeds, and then they grow all the way. I love sunchokes for the growth and the shade, and they're kind of a, if your chickens are out and about, you can grow these and they can hide underneath them. They can hide from the hawks. So I grew these when we were in Dackaville, and the chickens would get right under them and hide from the hawks, get shade, and then we would get food at the end of the season. So there's Napoleon, and he's in his enclosure with three or four of his hens. There's one of them. And so they also have their own pomegranate tree, which that was just a little thing last year, and they get to hide under it and get some shade. We've got some sunchokes growing in there for them. They've got their own coop, so they've got plenty of room, and then they go out the main door, or we let them here and they come in here. We open this right up, and then they can come in if the other flock's not out. These are sunflowers. I grew these from seed and protected them from the chickens, and they grew. So then there's Blackjack, and he's got his nasturtium growing, and he's got his fan, and he gets all the peanuts he wants. Come here, buddy. Come here, bud. He's hiding under there. Come here, buddy. He's my boy. I gotta watch out for that bobcat, because Oliver's no match for that bobcat. He was pretty stout, I have to say. So yeah, so this is what happens when you plant things from seed. You get this big forest. So it's really, really cool in here. It's nice. We keep it watered, and so they get to, it's nice and cool. They're not bored. He's got his growth. That's just their play area. This is their house. So this is the other side of that vine, and we have trimmed it back so many times. We wet everything down so they stay cool. But this is the fruit that's coming. So it hasn't quite formed yet. I know, Mommy, I know. But it's all over. Yeah. So, we're just being patient. And then this is their area. So they go up to sleep there. That's the compost. Look at the squash that's growing out of their compost area, which is kind of cool. That was a little orange tree I planted, and so that's nice and shady for them. And then there's the other side of the peas. They're growing, and yeah. So it's really, really cool. They're growing their own veggies. So cool. See, peas. So I can leave them here, or they can pick. They actually sit up here, and then they pick at their own tree. So it's kind of cool. They've got their fan, and then there's another main door to go out gate this way. They've got a nice solid roof. Yeah. So they're doing well, I have to say. Drinking water. They've got water everywhere. So that's why we can leave. We can check them once a day or twice a day. If we have to go out of town, that's okay. At nighttime, this closes. So So yeah, and then in the morning we let them out, so they're really happy to come out. So they're just not standing around waiting for me to bring them food. They can pick their own. Oliver, come here, buddy. So we'll walk down here. And again, if we did nothing, that it would be like weeds and, you know, so I was really grateful that Jim did, of course, all the building and measuring, and I helped wherever I could. Like sometimes nail each and every one of these in. And so it's pretty secure and safe. So hi, buddy. So this is Red. And then he's got his own house in there with an automatic door. He gets to see all the girls. Yeah, that vine is actually taking over. He's got his own sunchokes here. They give him plenty of shade. He's got a comfrey there, which that'll self-seed, and we'll have plenty more of those next year. Potatoes growing there. His fan, and that's his tomato plant. He's got his own tomato vine that was a little tiny thing that I purchased. Now that's gonna start growing some fruit, plus he gets some more shade. So then his brother is on the other side, and there's that divider between, you know, the grid, and so Rooster's on the other side. So they all get to see each other and hang out, but they won't fight and kill each other. Jim built this walkway because it was just a slope straight down. Hi, bud. So he thinks he's with his girlfriends. So there's, again, the wall. But we only allow one rooster per like 5 or 6 hens. So we don't have enough hens. So they're living the bachelor life. It's the truth, buddy. You're living the bachelor life. Yeah, you trying to give Mama food? When they do that, he tries to hunt for give me food. Yeah, hi, buddy. Hi, yeah. Hi. And he's got his own view. Okay, buddy, I love you. I love you. Yeah, you tell him. Show him where the food's at. So they've got this between them. He's got his own house, automatic door. He can see his brother. He gets all the peanuts he wants. Yeah, it's the truth. So there's a lot of beauty, but there's a lot of weeds. There's upkeep, but they're happy. The girls are happy. Oliver, you doing good, buddy? He's on Coyote Watch. We have that enclosure. The cats like to play in that, actually. And yeah, so the house isn't there. But you can see weeds just grow. There's never a dull moment around here. And then this is the last enclosure. Hi, Mama. We've got a couple of hens laying eggs. And then we've got their greenery in here also. They've got their own food that we planted from seed. Sunchokes. That's their pomegranate tree that it was just a little bitty pot last year. They have their fan on. Say hi, Petunia. Mama raised you. You don't even let me pick you up anymore. Well, it's the truth. Yeah. There's Napoleon. And I think two more of the girls are laying eggs. It's nice and cool. I just wet everything down. Put their fan on. They've got their own door to their chicken area. Yeah, Mommy. Yeah, Mama gave you all that food and worms. Yeah. Yeah, Mommy. So they're pretty comfortable. So on that note, if you get any ideas, plant stuff for your chickens so that way they can stay nice and cool in the hot summer days. because none of this was here yet. Total a year and 9 months we've been here. No structure, nothing. No plants. Jim brought in these logs and built the stairs. We dragged the coops from the other house. It's a lot of work. So we're kind of resting right now. I'm enjoying this season. So on that note, have a wonderful day in the Lord.